Yo, yo, BC in this mug. Port court, Bitcoin business. Rise and grind, time to stack sats. Wake up, hit the block, explorer. See my future looking bolder than a hardware wallet. Cold storage, got that laser focus. No mirage, just hodl age. Fiat full, stay mad, stay salty while my crypto bag's getting hefty. Good morning, crypto. It's a brand new day. Stacking Bitcoin, come what may. Good morning, crypto. Making moves from the basement straight to the news. They sleeping on the tech blind, thinking central banks are so kind. I'm out here building brick by brick, decentralized future, that's the trick. No permission needed, straight fire. Got that digital scarcity desire. Sets, I want more to the moon, that's what we're here for. Good morning, crypto, it's a brand new day. Stacking Bitcoin, come what may. Good morning, crypto, making moves from the basement straight to the news. Sets, I want more to the moon, that's what we're here for. Good morning, crypto, it's a brand new day. Stacking Bitcoin, come what may. Good morning, crypto, making moves from the basement straight to the news.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Crypto, where we turn your early hours in the morning into your edge and financial freedom. Today, I've got several headlines. We've been talking about nuclear stocks since about January, and we're finally starting to see something from the Trump administration about that. We got Cathie buying and selling some stocks within ARK Invest, and some big moves from Uber, not on the Uber side where you're a passenger in the car or the Uber Eats side, but they got another division where they move freight, and that's where we're seeing some big moves out of. So we'll get into that in just a second, but you know what I got pulled up in the background. It's that stock heat map. So let's dive on over to that, get you prepared for some success today. We've got a little bit of some upside moves off of yesterday. We are seeing a little bit of some red in this pre-market right now. Got Apple looking up 1.6 from its close, down 0.27 this morning. Nvidia down 0.86 off of its close, and continuing to see a little bit of some sell-off this morning, down 0.12. We got Berkshire Hathaway close to the upside yesterday, 1.47, looking to the upside this morning, 0.22. We've got Amazon up 1.4 off of its close, seeing a little bit of buying pressure this morning, up 0.13. We've got Eli Lilly looking to the upside off of its close, also seeing that buying pressure this morning, up 0.83. ExxonMobil looking in the green off of its close. 1.39% to the upside. Was sitting in the red in the pre-market, but sitting at 0.01% to the upside right now. We're seeing Tesla down 0.43 off of its close, taking back all of those losses, up 0.41 so far. We got P&G looking to the upside off of its close, 0.21%, and continuing to see some of that this morning, up 0.18. It was a little bit in the red earlier, so we might be seeing a little bit of some buying pressure stepping on in the pre-market. We've got Microsoft sitting down 1.64%, looking to the upside 0.41%. Google down 0.55 and continuing to see that sell off. Was sitting down a little bit more, but just sitting down 0.01% right now. We've got Meta sitting down 1.26%, looking to the upside 0.2% this morning. Let's hop over to the crypto side of things, because we did see a big move to the upside off of that. We talked a little bit about that on Piper Show yesterday. We got some nice little bouncing, a new all-time high on Bitcoin, which we might dive into in just a second, as we have seen that dollar continue to stay battered. So we'll kind of have to look into that, see if it's really a new all-time high with the dollar looking as battered as it is. But we are seeing quite a bit of green on these altcoins. We have a few that are sitting in the red on the daily, but they did get some nice moves to the upside and are just starting to see some of that pullback. We've got Bitcoin up 1.2%, Ethereum up 1.2%, XRP down 1.5%, we've got BNB down 1.4%, we've got Solana up 1.4%, we've got Doge sitting down 3.2%, Cardano, that big winner, sitting up 12.7%. We've got Tron losing a position in that market cap, sitting up 2.7%. We've got Chainlink down 0.3%, Hyperliquid up 3.8%. We've got Stellar Lumens down 1.4%, SWE down 0.3%, Bitcoin Cash down 0.2%. Oh, looks like that just changed, zero change on the daily. We've got HBAR up 0.8%. Avalanche down 0.4%, we've got Litecoin down 2.8%, and to wrap that on out, Toncoin sitting up 0.6%. Hopping over to those fear and greeds, we are sitting on some greed on the stock side, up 2 points from yesterday, and the crypto side back to that 75 and greed. Almost at that point where we'll start seeing some extreme greed, not too unexpected. After a move to an all-time high, is kind of nice to not see us at that extreme greed. We'll kind of have to see if we can maintain that higher side at 75, see if we can maintain at least the 70s, not really break into extreme greed, see how those oscillators are really looking, how money flow holds. We could really get that break into extreme greed if we hold some of these key levels. Let's hop over to that liquidation heat map. We do have quite a bit of liquidity to the top side of us, not too unexpected that people would short after an all-time high. Liquidity sitting up at that $125,000 range here on the Binance chart, all the way up to 125,500. Sitting on the bottom side, we've got some liquidity at 119,500. Zooming on out, taking a look at that 3-day, see where an explosive move might take us. Looks like we're looking to the downside. We've got quite a bit of liquidity at 117,800. That's that area to kind of watch for on the bottom side. That's below that 119 that we were looking at on the daily. Zooming on out to that 1 week. Got a request for coin. Let me get that on the list. We've got that back down at 115,500. So we've got quite a bit of liquidity below us. The further you zoom out, does lead me to believe if we do come down, grab some of that liquidity, really hold some of those key levels that we looked at before, we could cool off those oscillators and really have that pushback towards the upside. Let me zoom that on out. Take a look at that 2-week. See what we're looking at there, and it's really no different. We've got all of that liquidity back down at 115,500. So that higher time liquidity really bottoms out at that $115,000 mark, and that would kind of be that bottom area we would like to hold. Let's hop over to that economic calendar, see what we're looking at, because we did have quite a bit of data coming out this week. But let's look at what we're looking at for today. We've got quite a bit of data coming out today as well. That core PPI month over month and year over year. That'll be that producer index. That is normally the inflation metric that the Fed uses if they want to cut. Seeing that coming out quite a bit hotter, actually. The core side looking at a 0.3% increase and a 0.2% increase on that year over year. So we will be watching this data. Might dampen that chance of a rate cut in September. We will kind of have to watch that going forward. We also have that initial jobless claims today as well. Definitely going to be watching that one. If we get a massive increase on those job numbers, see PPI coming out a little bit hot, you might see that dampen your rate cut chances just a little bit. And then we'll have to look for next month to really see if we get any hopium back on those rate cut chances. Scrolling on down, we do have some GDP data coming out of Japan. That'll be that big market mover for the Asia trading time zone. Hopping over to that Bitcoin chart, see what we got going on in the chat. Let's scroll it all the way up to the beginning. We got Jesse first in the chat. Like always, good morning to you, sir. Hope you're having a great day. Let's see, we got Dylan VA in here as well. Good morning to you. Scrolling on down, we got Trade Intuition in here. He said he got some sleep, but he's actually in the chat bright and early. So hopefully it was enough sleep. He does say he wants a little bit more. So glad to see you in the chat this morning, Trade Intuition. We've got Steve Hickey in here. Good morning to you. We've got Darren Does Things. Good morning to you, sir. Hope you've been having a great day. We've got Stephen Mallet saying good morning from Vietnam. Well, good morning to you, sir. Hope you're having a great day so far. Let's see. We got K Diggity in here. Good morning. Let's see who else we got. Scrolling on down. Caliphate in here says welcome back. I'm glad to be back. It was quite the week off. It was a little nice to sleep in, but it's also nice to be back, getting all prepared for the days and ready to make some money. We got Kyle Fields in here as well. Good morning. Let's dive into this Bitcoin chart, see what we're looking at. We've got a nice little support line we've been bouncing off of on several time frames. This daily's holding it quite nicely as well, but you are starting to see a little bit of sideways momentum coming in on that prime oscillator. You've got your money flow barely staying in the green here, so we'll kind of have to see if we come back down to that platinum pocket. Oh, let me hit the right button there. We've got that money flow holding quite steady here, and we've got this platinum pocket. That would be a nice area to really see some bouncing on a shorter term time frame. Really hold that trend line and continue to the upside. If we do break below that trend line, looking for a little bit lower, and that point of control, which comes in right where this white line is marked out at 118,200, would be something to kind of watch for. We do have quite a bit of sideways momentum on that MACD and prime oscillator, so just watching that money flow on that shorter term time frame and see if we can get those bigger body candles here on this daily would be something to watch for. Taking our look at the 4 hour, we do have a little bit of toppiness here as well. taking a look, seeing that MACD get some curvature as we print those green candles here on the histogram. They have started to slow up quite a bit, but we do have a nice little support area below us. That platinum pocket was our resistance before we got that nice little bounce off of our support line, and then we really blasted off from that. So to see us turn this platinum pocket back into a support area for the first time, as we've never done that. We've gotten breaks above it, gotten a break above it, gotten resistance off of it. I've never been able to break above our platinum pocket on that fib extension and turn it into some support. That would be what I watch for. If we don't hold that, seeing that come in as some resistance all over again would be the move to watch for. We definitely have several areas of interest below us. That 115,700 and the top side of that old CME gap, 15,800 and the top side of that CME gap would be that next real move to watch for if we can't maintain our point of control coming in at 118,200. Let's see what we got here on the hourly, because we do have that bearish divergence and that rollover here, but the money flow still holding quite green. That 1 hour will tell us a little bit more on that shorter time frame, and we're starting to see that sideways momentum here. We do see that money flow slowing down just a little bit, not too unexpected after that all-time high and rejection off of the VWAP to the downside. We do have that area of support to kind of watch for some short-term bouncing, see if we can get a nice little move back up to at least the 122,000 mark, where we see all of this resistance before, and then we can really make that decision there. Let me get a horizontal ray drawn out at that point. We do have 122 about on the dot there. Comes in a little bit higher than that. Let me get it moved to the wick. 122,160. That'd be that area to kind of watch for us to come back to see if we can make a decision to at least continue to go down, or if we can turn that into some support and go back to the upside. I'll make that a little bit thinner so that we know that's our shorter term time frame resistance area. We did see us reject off of that point where I'm moving a little bit sideways underneath it right now. If we can get back above that, really turn that into some support, we can run to the upside all over again, as that MACD and prime oscillator have cooled off just a little bit, starting to see the sideways momentum on the prime oscillator. We would just need that money flow coming in on the short-term time frame. Let's take a look at that 15-minute and see what we're looking at for the morning here. We do have a little bit of sideways momentum here on the MACD, but we could easily break to the downside with a little bit more selling pressure stepping on in here. We have maintained 120,600. That's where we're seeing all of our bouncing, but we're really failing to get up to that resistance from here and 122,160. So seeing us fail to really get up there, seeing us at least hold this would be nice, but that money flow continues to come out this morning, so I would keep my eye on those lower levels down here at 120, 120, 122. That's where we see that platinum pocket there. Let's see what we got going on in the chat. JR needs a second phone to keep track while watching the stream. Yeah, I got two phones, says that's yeah, we all know the song, but I won't get too far into that. He's probably got two phones. We've got Jesse saying, I think next year everyone will be bullish on my birthday. Maybe that might be the bottom point there, Jesse. We got I think you think BTC will go down and fill the CME gap at 16,900. Well, let's take a look at that CME chart there. Let's get into our Bitcoin 1, scrolling on down here, and it's quite possible that we do come all the way down there. This one says 117,400 for that, So let's scroll it on in a little bit further, see if we can really, yeah, this one has that coming in at 117,420. So let's hop back over to that chart, see what we're looking at there. That'd be this whole explosive move, 117,420. Coming in right about there. Very easy area to fill. It's right underneath of all of that support before we got above the point of control. That'd be an area that'd be extremely easy to fill there. 117,420. I like that one, says Jesse. YouTube Premium, I can watch live while looking at charts. Yep, I have the same thing on my phone. I just throw it on in the background. Also, I got a tablet that lets me have like 4 things pulled up at once, so that's a lot of help at work. Let's see, I have a laptop and an Xbox, but I make mocha mode. Not sure what that means there, JR, but if you got multi-screens like I got 4 of them, I can do all of the charting and all of the watching and still do some other stuff in the background. So yeah, I like my PC life and I won't switch from it. I hate doing charting on the phone. It sucks so much. We got any other alt requests? I had coin on the list. If we got any alts to take a look at, I know we'll probably be taking a look at ADA after that explosive move to the upside. I do have a few levels to watch to the upside and to the bottom side, so we can take a look at that one. But that'll be after we dive into some of these news articles I was taking a look at. Jesse says Zora. We can definitely take a look at that one as well. Zora. All right. We had Uber Freight CEO joins the self-driving truck company Waabi, says era of autonomous big rigs on U.S. roads is here. Scrolling on down, get on into the meat and the potatoes. We got Laura Ron, founder and CEO of Uber Freight, is joining the self-trucking company startup Waabi as a chief operating officer. The move, Ron says, is based on his belief that the era of autonomous big rigs on the road at scale is here, with the freight industry to be transformed by the economics of driverless technology and the semi-cab. The first decade of my career in logistics was building Uber Freight, putting the rails in place to usher in the era of digitalization for logistics, Ron said. It's time to focus on the fundamental shift of the next decade, which is automation. I can think of something that will be helpful to the next era of logistics and innovation and how goods are being moved. The technology is now here. And we'll kind of have to keep our eye on this one. I do have some worries for the autonomous freight. Makes it very, very easy if someone is a criminal to end up stealing some freight. You know, these autonomous vehicles have a self-stop feature. If a car's in front of them, if you have a car pull up in front of them, really slow them down on the highway, you can get it to stop, and then it makes it very, very easy to break into that freight car. So you would still have to have someone in the truck who would just end up being security to kind of prevent situations like that from happening. You'd have to really have your programs be able to do better avoidance when you're seeing road hazards, really pick up on these types of things, because that would definitely be something you would see people taking advantage of autonomous driving, the lack of someone in there. So I still think this is a little bit of a ways off, and I do think your trucking union is going to have something to say about full autonomous trucks. Cathie Woods and ARK Invest have been buying quite a bit and selling off quite a bit. So let's dive into this article, see what they've been buying, see if maybe any of these are going to be a good buy. Scrolling on down, we've got Cathie Woods buying TTD, which is a parent company, trade desk, and they hold 17 buys, 11 holds, and 2 sells as the overall analytics for trading desk. So 7688 indicates a 44.58 upside potential. Let's scroll it on down. an average size purchase of Pinterest, PINS, where ARK snapped up 406 shares valued at $22 million. Another buy for ARK Invest, and ARK sells off quite a few shares. They sold off Block XYZ, unloading 543 shares for $15.74 million, the largest sale of the day. They sold off DraftKings, 221,203 shares worth $9.45 million, and their most notable sale was Robinhood Markets, Palantir, and Roblox and Spotify. So sold off quite a bit to end up switching over to some tech-heavy stocks. So we will kind of watch to see if this ends up playing out for them. They've been known to buy at some of the wrong times. Tips is a very big company that ends up providing data for stocks, so not too unexpected that she would dive into that one. Might be seeing a little bit of proprietary data heading her way. This is the big one that I really wanted to get to. If you've been watching Good Morning Crypto for any length of time, that we've been talking about nuclear stocks since President Trump was inaugurated. We did talk a lot about his energy deals, how he wanted to see America be energy dependent, and the only real true way to do that would be to step into the nuclear sector. And off the back of that, the Department of Energy announces an initial selections for its new reactor pilot program. And a few of those stock picks that we talked about back in January are in this program. So let's scroll on down. We've got the DOE announced a reactor pilot program in June 2025 following President Trump's executive order 14301, which forms reactor testing at the department. The goal of the reactor pilot program is to expedite the testing of advanced reactor designs that will authorized by the department at sites that are located outside of national laboratories. Seeking DOE authorization provided under the Atomic Energy Act will help today's selected companies: Allo Atomics Incorporated, Antares Nuclear Incorporated, Atomic Alchemy Inc., Deep Fission Inc., Last Energy Inc., OKLO Inc., Natura Resources LLC, and Radiant Industries Inc., and Terrestrial Energy Incorporated, and finally Valar Atomics Incorporated. If you've been paying attention, you've heard a few of those names. We have talked about OKLO. It did have a public sale of some of those stocks quite recently. We were in on that, and it's had quite a bit of big moves towards the upside, so we'll kind of have to watch as things unfold with this. Seeing America push back to that nuclear would be a big move to watch for, as that would actually bring us some energy independence. Oil and gas can only take you so far. It is a very efficient form of making energy, but nowhere close to as efficient as nuclear is. And we'll kind of have to watch and see if any other companies get added to that list, because we did have more than a few companies that we've been watching. Some of those are going to be, let me hop on over to that, get that actually pulled up on mine. LEU is a big company that provides the nuclear fissionable materials for a lot of these companies. I do expect that if you continue to see this nuclear push, that LEU does do quite well, as they supply most of those materials that are needed to hold these nuclear reactions. We had SMR, that was another big company that we've been watching. They do modular nuclear reactors. That would be that next big push if you want to see nuclear on a smaller scale, providing energy to neighborhoods. I didn't end up selling off when we ended up breaking below that CME gap. Nice big profits for me as I was buying all the way back here in February and March. Nice big lows, big push towards the upside. Move all the way up to the 1618 on that fib extension. Now we're looking all the way back to about 33.85 for a potential re-entry point. I will let you know as things move forward. Let's hop over to that other one we were looking at, because OKLO, this is in my portfolio list, has been on quite the tear. It IPO'd the other month. That is where this giant CME gap is from, and has been on an absolute tear. For the macro fib extensions here, you have moved all the way outside of our one fib line, and that upside target's looking all the way up at 104. If you pull in on that micro fib here on the extensions, we did just break outside of that one line, pulled back into it though, and now we're kind of looking below us to see if we can hold that platinum pocket as some support. We really failed to get all the way back down to that golden pocket, so seeing us hold at 73.19 would be something to kind of watch for here. That pre-market is opening barely above our close from yesterday, so not seeing any real volatile moves off of this move just yet. We did get that nice big green body candled all the way up to the one line, a little bit of some moves outside of it, but pulled back into that fib extension. So really seeing if we can cool that off just a little bit more, wait for some more money flow to come in at that 73.26 would be that move to really watch for. Let's see what we had. We had Coin requested. We had Zora requested. Let's dive in. Take a look at ADA first, and then we can dive into those other alt requests. Let's see if we see anything else in that list. We got Jay Violet in the chat. Good evening to you. Hope you've had an amazing day. Let's see. I don't have two phones anymore. I'm a normie crypto head. Oh, JR slacking there. I've got two phones, a tablet, and then this massive PC. So I've got all of this technology. It might be a little bit too much sometimes, but better to have too much than not enough. Let's see. We got Caliphant in here saying, oh, it's night for you too, Jay Violet. Most definitely is. She's from the land down under, so it is like 7 o'clock there, if I'm not mistaken. BC always fibbing. Hey, I try not to fib, sir. I do my best to tell the truth. Let's see. I'm getting a crypto stocks update before bed. Hey, best way to end the day. I normally start my days and end my days with those crypto and stock updates. So let's hop into that ADA chart, see what we're looking at here. After that massive push to the upside, we did see a little bit of resistance coming in at that dollar range. Not too unexpected, a nice psychological level to really see some resistance come at. We do have a nice little support area that runs all the way from, let me just get it zoomed out. There you go. This is from all the way back here when we had our nice break above our 382. This is coming in from some shorter term time frames, so seeing that line not really line up is not too unexpected there. We did get some nice daily candle closes on top of it here. When we lost it, we really saw that reject off of it with some strength. We did hold it up here off of a wick. You can see that nice little wick in action there, wick in action here off of the daily. We got that nice candle body rejection off of it as well. We got those nice candle body closes on top of it here at that 97-cent point. So that's that area I'm really watching for us to hold price up at 97 cents. We do have a few areas below that as well. If you're unable to maintain that 382 coming in at 94.22. So let's get this zoomed on in, see what we're looking at here on the shorter term time frame. That daily is looking like it still has a little bit of potential to run, But let's take a look at the shorter term time frame, see what we're looking at here, as it does look like we've seen a little bit of some resistance stepping our way. That 4-hour looking a little bit toppy here. Some overbought signals have finally started flashing. You do have the rollover of your prime oscillator, and we're just waiting to see if we can get some continued money flow coming on in. Let's see what that 1 hour is looking like here. Also looking a little bit toppy. That prime oscillator has cooled off just a little bit. We are trying to make break up towards the upside right now. We'll kind of have to see if we can get above $1, that psychological level. We have seen that come in as some resistance. After that quick little move above it, a lot of that would be some grabs of liquidity and seeing that psychological level come into play. After all of this profit, if you were buying in at that golden pocket, you got quite a bit of profit here, and seeing that sell-off is not too unexpected. Taking a look at that 15-minute in the morning though, see what that might bring our way. Seeing that cool off is quite nice. That prime oscillator and MACD both getting that sideways momentum, but your volume has slowed up quite a bit. That's where I'd want to see us really get above that dollar level. If we can turn that into some support on the shorter term time frame, you could really push back up with some strength there, as you have cooled off the shorter term time frame oscillator, and that 1 hour was seeing a little bit of sideways momentum here. You could really see that quick flip to the upside, really bounce up against that 103.7 level, and that would be where we would probably see some stronger resistance. If we get above that, that 105.86 would be that next real level to watch for there. Let's take a look at coin. I know it had some big moves as well. Let's get over to our stock list here, see what we're looking at. A nice big break towards the downside. We created a big CME gap that has our resistance coming in on the bottom side. We got that nice big move into it, really came back down, holding up price at that 325 level. That was a level on a shorter term time frame. Let's get that pulled on up here, see where it's coming from. That was our resistance here after that big dip to the downside. We are holding that up quite nicely right now, but we're really seeing that resistance come in directly above us at $335. That is the bottom side of that CME gap. That's going to be our next real area to get above. We are making some nice higher lows and higher highs here. We've got CME gaps that we've made on the way up. Every time we make those, we immediately fill them and then push back up. We fill it, push back up, and we filled it, and then we're waiting to see if we can get that push back up and really turn that $335 into some support here. This CME gap is some strong resistance, as you see all of that selling pressure that immediately came in as soon as we broke above that. Zooming on in, see what the shorter term time frame is there. You can really see that move to the downside quite quickly. You do have those smaller green candles that build up into it, and then immediately off of 344 we saw that extremely strong sell-off. We're unable to get to the top side of that fib retracement. We're unable to get to the midline. So this CME gap is going to be our very strong resistance to get into and get above. Would like to see us at least get to 351.41 on that 15-minute chart here. We do have the pre-market opening towards the upside, so looking like we have a little bit of some gap to fill. Would come back down to 326 and then make that continuation towards our CME gap. Let's see what we got. We've got Zora on that list. Never heard of that one, so let's take a look at that naked chart and see what we got. Zora, and I guess we can take a look, see what that Coinbase chart is looking like, see how much history it has there. Massive moves towards the upside. Let's see if anything else has a little more history. Zora on Binance. Nope, looks like Coinbase has more history there. That's a little weird. All right, Coinbase normally doesn't have the most history. Normally Bybit beats it to the punch. Let's get that fib extension pulled up here from our low to our high to our low. And then that rejection off of the one line, breaking below that golden pocket right now, looking to see if that 50% line is going to hold us up at $1. Let's zoom this on in. Daily is looking a little bit toppy, so if we break below that 50, looking for that 236 at 75 cents would be that next real move to kind of watch for. I see lasers go pew pew in the chat. Good morning to you. Let's see, did you do gold yet? No, I did not do gold, but I can definitely take a quick look at it here after Zora. 236 is a nice strong support, so if you cannot hold up our current levels here at $1.04, where we saw all of this resistance here, looking back down to the 50 would be that next real move to watch for. If we don't hold that, there's not a lot to really hold us up here besides our equal candle bodies at 92 cents. Let's get that horizontal drawn out. Make it a little bit thicker. We do know that is a higher term time frame support area to watch for. So we do have that 50 below us. If we are unable to hold that, the next real area to watch for is going to be that 92 cents. And then looking all the way back to the 236 at 75 cents below that. We do have that bearish divergence here on the daily. You've got your peak seeker indicator as well off of this candle here. So looking like it's a little bit toppy here on the daily. You do have your money flow trying to maintain as some buying pressure as your volume slows up just a little bit. So we'll kind of have to see what that shorter term time frame is bringing our way here. Got that hourly looking a little bit bottomy, but not overly, as you could continue to roll over with that money flow extremely in the red. Prime oscillator sitting in the light red here, and that MACD continuing to point to the downside, waiting on a little bit of some hold up here at that 50. Might get that nice little bounce back up, at least break towards that $1.06, and then continue that rollover depending on how the money flow is looking on that shorter term time frame. Zooming on into the 15 minute, getting that continued rollover there. We did see all of that resistance coming in at $1.06. That's that area from back there as well. Let's get that pulled up as a shorter term time frame line there. We've got that coming in at the 2. I see Alexandra G in the chat, bright and early. Good morning to you, Mod Queen. Hope you're having a great day so far. Oh, I got some pictures I need to send over in the Discord. I finally got all of that, and I'm situated and back in town. So I will drop some of those pictures later in the Discord. We did see $0.106 coming in as our resistance level. Looking back down to 1 cent is going to be that next real area to watch for there. Seeing a 0.092 would be that next level below us if we can't hold up that 50% line, and then looking back down to 0.075. Sorry, I thought this was a whole lot higher in price than it is. So very, very early on that. Definitely looking like you could see a little bit of some continued retracement on that bearish divergence on the daily. 1 hour looking a little bit toppy there. 15 minute getting that continued rollover, and we did have all of this exploding to the upside with extremely good strength and rejecting off of that one line. So waiting to see what happens at the 50. If you don't hold it up, that bearish divergence is really going to come to play, and looking all the way back down to about that 236 or 0.9203 would be that move to watch for. let's take a quick look at gold, and then we'll wind the show on down. We got that morning motivational video to really start that day off right with. So let's zoom this on out. Take a look at this daily. We know we've talked about gold at that 236 over and over and over again. We did get above all of our short-term resistance areas, but really saw us reject with some strength off of 3,403. So it saw us get that nice clean bounce off of the 236 all over again. Seeing very, very indecisive candles here, as very equal wicks on the top and bottom, pretty equal wicks on the top and bottom, and this new candle that's starting to print right now, very equal wicks on the top and bottom right now. We are moving quite sideways on top of that 236, so that does give us some nice opportunity to really cool off those oscillators and wait for that break of money coming back in to push us back up to 3,403. That's that next real area to watch for above us. The short-term time frame to get above is going to be 3,373. Let's zoom this on in. Take a look at the hourly holding up that 236 extremely nicely here. We did get a little bit of a break below that. That's going to be that liquidity grab for our futures market, and that push back up to resistance at 3,373. We got that nice move back to close that fair value gap out, and then we're seeing if we can break towards the upside of it, because we are seeing a price hold up quite nicely there. That is an hourly. Let's get that fair value gap drawn out for you. See what we're looking at. Nice small fair value gap there. It is filled, so we don't have to mess with that. But we're holding the top side of that quite nicely right now, with that hourly getting that curvature back towards the upside. Really just waiting on some money flow here. Curvature on that MACD, curvature on the prime oscillator, money flow barely in the red here, so we'll have to see what happens at that market open. If we do see that break below the CME gap, that 236 at 3,346 is gonna be that area to watch for price to hold up all over again. That gold has been moving quite sideways, as you have seen those bigger moves towards the upside on your stock side. 15-minute does look like you are seeing a little bit of stagnation here at the lows before we broke below our fair value gap there. So seeing a little bit of resistance coming in at our current price point of $3,359 would really need to get above the highs of that 3,362. Let's get that marked out as our short-term time frame. That's going to be our short-term time frame area to get above with some strength, and then we could make our way back up to $3,373. So I would look for this to be our potential resistance area, but if you see those big body candles on that higher term time frame, you could really get that pushback towards the upside there. It is 5:32 and time to wind the show. Oh, wrong button there, and time to wind the show on down. I appreciate all of you for tuning on in. I will see you at the next one and at the morning market report at 10 a.m. Eastern time with Piper and OC. They will be breaking down that PPI data, and make sure to tune in with Trading with OC at 8 p.m. Eastern time. I will see y'all bright and early tomorrow morning, and we'll get some more preparation done. We do have a special guest, Crypto Billy, tuning on in. He will be here to talk about some of the AI that he and his team have been making. So make sure to tune on in. It will be quite the fascinating show. Until then, make sure to wake up, because today's going to be a good day.